Estructura 4.2, stem changing verbs, E to IE stem changers, and O to UE stem changers. We actually have another set coming up after this. So for this lesson, we're just focusing on these two different stem change types. So stem changing verbs deviate from the normal pattern of regular verbs. When stem changing verbs are conjugated, they have a vowel change in the last syllable of the stem. So empezar, the stem is empez, everything but the AR, basically. Volver, so the stem is volv, and so the last syllable of the stem for volver is the O here. So for empezar, the verb stem is empez, and then the stem change, the E is going to change to IE, empiez, and then you conjugate, which we're going to look at here in a second. Volver, the stem is volv, the O changes to UE, vuelv, and then here's the conjugated verb form. So vuelvo comes from the verb volver. So we're kicking it up a notch with verbs in Lección 4. So in many verbs, such as empezar, the stem vowel changes from E to IE. Note that the nosotros and vosotros forms do not have a stem change. So if we look at the verb empezar, the E is going to change to an IE. Here we go. So yo empiezo, tú empiezas, él, usted empieza, but nosotros empezamos. Notice we go back to the original form as it was in the infinitive. Same on the vosotros, empecéis, and then ellos, ellas, and ustedes empiezan. So if I were to draw an imaginary circle around all of the ones that change, sometimes you'll see these referred to as boot or shoe verbs. And I don't have the capability to actually draw a line, but let's just look at what happens in this structure if we were to draw a circle. You can see how I'm basically tracing the shape of a shoe or a boot. So when you circle all of the ones that have the change, you form a shoe or a boot because we're keeping these two out. And so that's why it's sometimes known as a shoe or a boot verb, which is just helpful maybe visually in your mind to think about where these changes take place in the stems. Los chicos empiezan a hablar de su visita al cenote. Ellos vuelven a comer en el restaurante. So just a little look-see at how these work in context. The boys begin to speak about their trip to the cenote. They return to eat at the restaurant, or it's kind of another way of saying they eat at the restaurant again. In many other verbs, such as volver, the stem vowel changes from O to UE. So this is the second type of stem changing verb. Again, the nosotros and vosotros forms have no stem change. So the verb volver, to return, goes yo vuelvo, tú vuelves, él, ella, usted vuelve, back to the original stem, volvemos, volves, and then vuelven. And so same thing, if we were to draw a circle around all of the ones that have this change, we are tracing the shape of a shoe or a boot. To help you identify stem-changing verbs, they will appear as follows throughout the text. So that's a helpful part of what the textbook is offering to you, just so that when you see this, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, empezar, this E is going to change to IE. Or, oh, okay, the O is going to change to UE. Now, you won't necessarily have that in life, but in our learning environment of our textbook, it can be super helpful just to remind you. So here is a list of common stem-changing verbs. It's not all of them in the world, but it is the most basic list of verbs that have these changes. So cerrar, the E here is going to change to IE. Comenzar is another way to say empezar. They both mean to begin. Entender, to understand. Pensar, to think. Perder, to lose. Preferir, to prefer. Querer, to want. So for all of these, the last syllable of the stem is going to change from E to IE. Here are your list of common O to UE stem changers. Almorzar, to have lunch. Contar, to count or to tell. Dormir, to sleep. Encontrar, to find. Mostrar, to show. Poder is to be able to or can. Recordar, to remember. And volver, to return. Jugar. Jugar is to play a sport or a game, and it is the only Spanish verb that has a U to UE stem change. So jugar is followed by a plus the definite article when the name of a sport or a game is mentioned. So again, this is the only one. It works a lot like these O to UE stem changers, except that it's not an O, it's a U. So ella juega al tenis y al golf. Los chicos juegan al fútbol. Comenzar and empezar require the preposition a when they are followed by an infinitive. So comienzan a jugar a las 7. Again, not something we want to get caught up in literally translating because that will get us into trouble and confused. Just remember it, just memorize it, that it's a part of the phrase when it's followed by an infinitive. Comienzan a jugar a las 7. They begin playing at 7. Ana empieza a escribir una postal. Ana is starting to write a postcard. And finally, pensar, this is an E to IE stem changer. Pensar plus infinitive means to plan or to intend to do something. So by itself, pensar was in that list of verbs, the common stem changing verbs. By itself, pensar means to think. But when it's followed by an infinitive, it means to plan to do something. So for example here, piensan ir al gimnasio. Are you planning to go to the gym? Okay. Pensar en means to think about someone or something. So en qué piensas? What are you thinking about? So just a little stipulation, little thing to add on to the rules that you're learning with these stem changing verbs. And that is the end of Estructura 4.2.